should hopefully be better. Yeah, I had to put down the quality of the recording, like always, so sorry about that. I'm sorry about video quality, it's just the quality I have to use, so we get at least some frames. Let me just see. Okay. I mean, I can show you this. I guess. So first image. Let's move this away. Okay. So I put the demo version of my game. I put it not now also on itch.io, so it's now you can download it on Game Jolt or on itch.io for free if you want to. So I will put the links into the chat. And if you watch this later on YouTube, the links will be in the description. So YouTube is slow like always. So yeah, so I put the demo on itch.io and on Game Jolt. So now what I want to say is, how do I do updates? Right now I try to do almost every day an update in form of a patch. I won't promise you that I will always put that I always will every day do an update. I can't promise that, because sometimes things take longer. There's just sometimes not enough time in one day to create something. At the moment I have a lot of small things I can finish, I can add, there's still bug fixes to do and stuff like that, so every day an update is at the moment possible, but I don't know how long it is possible, so I don't want to promise that. But here is the thing how I update the game. So there is a main release. This is the top one. On itch.io you will have also two files, both are labeled. So Sun World in Pieces, the demo version. This is the main release. I will release every Friday. I will make a full release, and like multiple times in the week. Like I said, I don't want to promise you every day. I will do a patch that gives you additional stuff and so on. So now the problem is with itch.io and Game Jolt is that patches, you can't update patches automatically, even if you have the Game Jolt client, and I'm not sure what itch.io is, or itch.io, however you want to call it, how they exactly update it, do the updates. But as far as I know, it's not automatically with the patch. So it's very simple to install the patch, and I have a description here, so read the description. Also on itch.io you will find a description, so I don't want to go through it right now. I can give you a video instruction if it's needed, but it's pretty simple. You just have to download the pack file and then put it in the right folder. The folder is here. If you have already an old patch file, you have to delete the old patch file, and patch files are you see patch files, they have an ending 0_p.pack, and and all patches have this ending, so don't delete the pack file that has not this ending, because that's the main pack and you want to keep this. So like I said, multiple times a week. I will do patches. Every Friday I will update the full release um, with all the patches that came before. And the full release, it should, if you have the client, the game should client, it should automatically update the release. So it's up to you if you want to use the automatic update or if you want to from time to time download a patch and install the patch for additional content. But that's just how I will do it. So every Friday there will be a full release update, and then in the weeks there will be patches. So there's one thing you need the most recent release for the patches, or it won't work. So if I put out on Friday the newest release, and you didn't download the newest release, and then on Saturday or Sunday there is the next patch coming, adding the patch to the old release won't work. So you have to be updated there always, just as notifications. So why do I do so many updates and so on? Is kind of like, yeah, there are different reasons for that. But you know, if you have a destination, even if you make a million small steps, you will get to the goal. And so I kind of have, instead of looking at the end goal that is so far away, um, I'm making small goals every day. I wanna reach, and with this release patterns, there is even a finish line, maybe so-called finish line. And with that, the problem is if you look at the end goal, and it's a pretty big project. So if you just look at the end goal, you will miss a lot of small details and so on. And I said over and over again that I want to take my time with everything. um, so kind of with this uh, with the small goals, if I make myself the small goals, today I want to do this, this and that. Of course, not always I will reach the goal. Sometimes it will just take longer, or there is a problem and you have to go around the problem, stuff like that. So that's of course a problem, but by creating these small goals, it's kind of like I can take my time with the small things, putting in really the details, making them work and things like that. But I also go always forward. I don't kind of lose myself in something that may not work like I intend to, and I have to find another way, or finding a way around this or anything like that. So I won't lose more time than necessary for something, but I still can take time for small things and so on, without always having to concern about the complete end goal. The other thing is, of course, that if you're interested in the project, you will be updated almost every day what is happening and so on. So the other thing is kind of like for the demo version, it works pretty good with patches. For the main game, if I create the main game, I probably have to change this. Probably almost daily patches are not reasonable then, and the reason is because the main game will be so pretty massive project. I will release it in chapters, so episodical, but I call them chapters. And there has after one I so I don't want to release kinda so when a chapter is finished, so the first part of the next chapter, then the second part of the next chapter, and then another dialogue of the chapter, and then a special fight of this chapter, and then another dialogue of this chapter. I don't want to release the main game like this. I want to release a package, so really this one chapter from start to finish, and then after the chapter is released, I still can support this chapter, of course, with more patches to add side content, bug fixes, and so on. If this is enough to do really regularly, give you updates, plus working on the next chapter, I'm just not sure. But we will see. I will find a written, like I found a written right now for the demo version. But the main game is still a little bit ahead, so there is a lot I want to do with the demo version. So the demo version came out last week, the first version on Friday, Thursday or Friday. I think on Friday I put it out. So right now, so probably this week, maybe up to the weekend or so, maybe until the release of until the next release on Friday. I will probably just add small stuff, new abilities, and quests and things like that. And then from next week or from the weekend on, I will probably work on bigger things again. So what do I want to achieve with the demo? Right now it's just a 1 versus 1 fight. I want to add a second player character you can play with, of course, with abilities and everything. That will take a while because the abilities, they just really cost times. But I probably will introduce him with just a couple of abilities when he comes first, and then add some more abilities. Then, of course, we only have one enemy. I want to add more enemies, also more enemy types, and just that you not always only fight one enemy. Maybe there are two enemies, three enemies, depending on the stage. I will probably, as higher you get, as higher will be the possibility that you enter a fight with more than one enemy. So that's kind of the main goal. Then there are other small things, smaller, bigger things. Like I said, more enemy types. Attitude changes of enemies, that's something I probably will do pretty soon. Maybe I will even start this in this week actually. Because it's kind of quite a big, yeah, more or less big game mechanic that can change the tides of a battle and kind of makes things maybe a little bit more tactical. We will see. So attitude changes is probably something I will put in soon. Then creating new enemy types, and then the new player character. And the reason is just that really the combat system and the progression system have to work, and they have to work with multiple characters and multiple enemies. And right now it just works 1 versus 1. And I really think important part is at the beginning to really polish the foundation of the game with really this combat and progression system, and then if this is polished, I can put it without worries into the main game and start to build the main game with story, with exploration, with NPCs and other assets and so on. That's the plan. So check out the demo. Feedback is always welcome. So what do I have planned for today's stream? Let me open up. Sorry. But YouTube is a little bit slow right now. Let me also put up YouTube on my phone. Give me a second. Yeah, I know that my resolution is a little bit low, but that's how it is. So what I want to do first, so we already talked 15 minutes, sorry for the long intro. I will play a little bit the demo. I will see if I find bugs or anything like that. And when we find bugs, we of course write it down. I will, sorry about that. Now it's silent. Okay. So first I will play a little bit the demo. It's already open. We can actually already start soon. So like I said, 15 minutes already talked. I won't always make this long intros probably. So I want to play the game in the next couple of streams, just to get up to the point where the demo is kinda more or less out of content. So today I will only play short, maybe 15-20 minutes around there. Other days I may do it a little bit longer. With that, not too much longer, really just around 30 minutes or so. I don't want to overdo it. And then we jump into Unreal Engine and we will work. If there are not any major bugs I have to fix, I will add abilities. I will probably add more abilities to the improvement section, probably for accessories. I mean, I say probably, but almost certain. And if there is more time, depending on how long this takes, I will also add some quests. So today is only small additions, and then maybe next time I will do a little bit more interesting stuff, like I said, attitude changes or anything like that. So what I also have prepared today, so when I start working, I will start also the stream by Unreal Engine. It's Inside Unreal. As far as I know, is Inside Unreal are indie developers kind of showing off their work in Unreal Engine, and at least I guess that's what it is. And I will just play it, maybe comment sometimes about something. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's something interesting we can take, maybe there is nothing interesting, but kinda I wanna do this. If I don't have some special video like I had the last times, that something special new is happening or something like that, then I probably will just see if I find some content for Unreal. As far as I know, Inside Unreal will be every Thursday. So I mean, I think for the next week I will play some of these videos inside Unreal. If it's just really not interesting or useful or anything like that, I will probably scrap that. But Unreal has also on YouTube a lot of videos, and maybe I will find interesting stuff and so on. So, and if there is something interesting happening, an interesting topic or something like that, I will play this and we can discuss this and stuff like that. But that's just what planned is for today, this video. And so much for the very long 20 minutes intro. I'm sorry about that. Let's jump into the game. So yeah, I probably will keep it very short, and then we jump into Unreal Engine, because like I said, there are goals we want to achieve today. So first thing first, because my computer is a potato, I haven't the highest graphics settings and resolutions, so I have it on window mode because I kind of like it more like this, so it's on 720p, and I only have the medium setting on. But the game is not like super polished graphic wise, so it won't matter. This is demo with the patch 0.1.4. So what I added in the last days are quests. Quests give you very nice experience points rewards, so they're very helpful. And I added quests because the problem is that the learning new abilities and crafting and so this stuff they all cost experience points, and because the main game will have side quests and kind of interactions with assets and NPCs that give you small experience points rewards, and there's not only the fighting that gives you experience points rewards, and I kind of have this experience points economy kind of more in the direction of the main game instead of the demo version, so stuff costs quite a bit of experience points. It was just too grindy. Everything was too grindy, and at least it felt quite grindy. I mean, you will see how the demo is built up. There's never enough experience points. So I kind of put in these quests so they're not very special quests or anything like that where you have to go do something special. They are just more like tasks, challenges if you want, so stuff like that. Stuff you get naturally through the game, and all the stuff you may have to get a little bit out of your way. So the first one, the completionist, this is almost a little bit a guide, so I kind of try to find what do you have to learn first to open up stuff. So this is kind of guides how you get the best way through, more or less. It's not a step-by-step guide, but because that's definitely something I wanted to avoid. So for the demo, it's maybe not such a big deal because there are just only so many abilities you can learn. But for the main game, when there are a lot more abilities to learn, a lot more tiers, I definitely want to give you the freedom to learn the abilities you want to learn, and not give you a guide which abilities you have to learn. But here, for the demo version, if you don't exactly know which ability has which effect, it's kind of difficult. It's kind of maybe a little bit try and error in a way, or just a grind to get everything. So the completionist quests is maybe a little bit special because it's, like I said, not a step-by-step guide, but a little bit a guide. What should you do next to get forward in the demo for learning more abilities and so on. And the others are just more maybe more a natural progression, like the competitor is just reaching a certain amount of stage and this will just go on. So the professional is leveling up jobs, the sensei will be practicing your skills. So, I mean, there is a training section where you can train stuff. The rich is just how much coins you can gather, and the reactor will be how much sunstones you will gather. However, these three are not in the game yet. Maybe that's something we can do today. Let's just jump into a battle. Just to move on here a little bit. So that's what I kinda added in the last days. I also added a new ability. So we have to wait until we are ready. Let me use slash. This slash is the most effective ability to hurt your enemy, and at least if you hit. Problem with this attack is that it has a little bit longer reaction time, so it's possible that the enemy can interfere a second time, kind of depending on how the battle ends. So maybe even the stage is maybe now a little bit too high for us, I'm not sure. So I will try to do a lot of damage. This time he hit, and let's see. Yeah, he has not so much HP. So we never know how much health the enemy has. It's really randomized. So it can change from fight to fight. So sometimes you have one guy, an enemy that has maybe takes a little bit more punishment than another enemy. This will be also in the main game. So kind of enemy types, they kind of have some general states, and every enemy type has different fundamentation with their states. So we have he's almost done. So every enemy has every enemy type has a different foundation, but it's still randomized. So maybe an enemy that is, let's see, did we gather some? Okay, we got some sunstones, what is nice, always useful. So there are enemies that have maybe enemy types that have a high strength. So their foundation of the states is that they have high strength, but the randomizer may change that. Maybe this one enemy, the strength is lower than normal, and other times it's extremely high, the strength, or anything like that. So there is a little bit of randomizing in it. So even if you encounter the same enemy type, it won't be the exactly same experience. I think that's quite interesting, and also this will show in experience points and so on. So what we have now, we can learn a new training session. It's pretty cheap, so we will do this. Agility and control plus an XP for MRI. There is for practicing will be a pen. So every time you enter this option list here where you can progress and so on, your energy will recover. your health will stay the same, but your energy will recover. This is maybe a little bit strange. Why don't I just give you let you recover everything or nothing? And that's kind of going into the main game then. But here, if you train, so now my mouse clicked too tight. So we will go into the next battle with a penalty of our energy. And we also see it here that the energy is now down instead of full, and we see the health didn't recover. Let's see then ability, so perception. Which one? In here we need higher defense. Let's go into the crafting tier. Nothing new. Let's see what we need. Stamina. Stamina shouldn't be too hard. Only 2 stamina. Let's check something. Now we can't learn more stamina, but we can learn a little bit more strength. Let's go to the improvements. Here we can. Here we have a bug, or at least it seems to be a bug. Maybe it's not. No, it is a bug. Let me write this down. Let me check something. Character settings, attributes. Let's see, willpower 7/7. Yeah. It shouldn't be possible to learn this ability right now because we only have willpower of 7. But maybe there is something wrong. Let me write this down. This should be noted. Sharpen. Let me click on it. You see we can't learn it. So yellow means we can learn this ability, but it won't react, so there is a problem with the image. This is only a small bug. Let's go into the next battle. So that's why this is quite very useful to. That's why I kind of play the game again, to find this type of bugs. So we are pretty low on energy, so maybe we try to use another technique. Maybe what we can do now, as example, is try to break his teeth or his tooth. So you see here now a purple number went up, and we have now here a purple progress bar. So this is the for enemy equipment, for enemy body parts or enemy armor. They all have a health bar, and you can destroy the. Now we were lucky he missed. You can destroy enemy equipment and so on, and then you get the chance for some extra loot, what is always helpful. But also these things can then trigger what I said at the beginning, the attitude changes in your enemy. Didn't do as much damage as we hoped we would do. Still one more. Let's see. Now he got us quite a strong attack here. So if we lose, we jump back into here. So we can't enter the next stage, of course, because we lost. But our health recovered and stuff like that. You can also look into the quest. What is kind of our next goal here is buy survival book. what I mean with that is this book here, Book Survived the Desert. But we see not enough money for that yet. So let's jump into the next battle. Let's try to win. So kind of one problem is if you just follow stage by stage, the enemies get stronger faster than you get. There's a little bit of problem with the, even if it's always only a small thing, only a little, he always gets only a little bit small, a little bit stronger, but it's still faster than your character gets stronger. So kind of if you just follow stage by stage, the enemies get harder to defeat. But for that I put in the stage selection because he already does a lot of damage actually. Of course, it's also randomized how much damage he does, but still. So I will attack him with my strongest attack again. He has not that much of health, it feels. This time he blocked. So yeah, so that's why I put in the stage selector, so you can go back to stages you already finished, so you can fight again against weaker enemies and earn some experience points and other stuff, so you can later on level up, later on defeat the enemy in a stage you couldn't before. So one more hit seems fine. He can hit us before, but we can't take at least 2 more. I have to think about the speed. If you get hit, you shouldn't level up speed. Defense got up, speed up, willpower up by 1. We need 2 more and then we can learn our stuff. So we also got intuitivity buff, something we can learn. Yeah, I didn't see how much. Yeah, anyway. No, not here. Sorry. We could. No, we can't. This starts to cost a lot of experience points here. That's why I say jobs will help you. So if this is probably something I can today. At least one more, starting one more quest class here. Then you can earn more experience points, what will help you absolutely at the beginning. Actually, through the whole thing. So we go to the next battle. We should have low health again. So I could use a potion, but I nerfed the potion a little bit. It felt in the later game. So the potion does now, instead of 100 recovers 100 health, it does now recover 250 health. So I kind of want to keep my potion for later battles, to be honest, to not waste them. And it's not it's not that tragic to lose a battle, because you don't really lose anything. Even if you lose a battle, you actually all the points you get in the battle, you see here, you can keep them. So there's no problem in losing. So let's see if we can hammer out. No, we missed. But he missed too. And we got a perception point, and I think we needed that to learn something. I'm not sure if one is enough. We will see. Okay, let's try that again. It's probably also good. Would be also good to. Again, we did not a lot of damage this time. So he probably get us now, yeah. So all these points we got, even if we lost, we can keep them. That's kind of how it works. I also have to add an animation for when you get defeated, so it's clear what happens. So let's see if we can maybe learn something. Of course, this one not. For this we need a lot of composure and precipitation. So precipitation you can learn by crafting and improving stuff. Composure we can learn through another ability, an ability we don't have yet. And this ability here, so we still need 2 more perception. I think we get perception when the enemy misses us. Defense 26, that needs a block, will be a very strong ability. We definitely want to learn. For this down here we need more precipitation. For that we need to learn this one. So stamina 1 more, then we can learn to craft a new weapon holster. Let's go here. Like I said, this still is not enough. I mean, this is a small thing that, but it's maybe irritating and stuff like that. So it's important that we fix this, of course. So yeah, we better try to win. The fights get now harder, so maybe we want to jump later on into a lower stage so we can grind some experience points and stuff like that. But we still need attribute points. So, and attribute points, you see he missed and we got the perception. We also got the defense one. That's pretty good, both pretty useful. So if you go to lower stages, there is lower possibility that you can learn new attributes points, while if you're in a higher stage, you always grind some. Oh, I used the wrong attack. Oh, that's fine. You always learn, or almost always learn, new attribute points, and absolutely for the beginning, not only for the beginning, this is also something that is kind of the whole thing. You, for learning new attributes, you will need, then for learning new abilities, you will need a certain amount of a certain attribute points. So you kind of want to also keep an eye out. That's definitely not bad. For every technique and so on, you will learn you can learn different attributes. different attributes. Yeah, different. You can earn different attribute points, so you kind of want to keep out what gives you what. So he blocked our attack. That's not ideal. So maybe if you have a weaker attack or anything like that, and the enemy is too strong. So another thing is maybe if you see that you maybe not win, or if you go back into a lower stage that you want to use abilities in combat you maybe don't use so much. Like right now I am only using mid-range attacks, so maybe go into a level before and use some short-range attacks will also push, give you some attribute points. But now I also want to win, because we of course want some more experience points, and we also want some loot and stuff. Is this very short? But I think we are very close to learning the block ability. So he blocked again. So block, there are passive abilities or defense abilities. In that case there will be other passive abilities that are not necessary defense, but just do other stuff, kind of more support stuff. So if we can hit him, then we can defeat him, otherwise he will no, we were a little bit lucky now at the end, but that's okay. So we gathered some more. Still not enough defense, I guess. We got the strength buff, and we got only one perception, everything, and not too much coins. What was I saying before? Let's go to updates. Defense 28. Defense 28, willpower 8, perception, if I can find it, 9. So it's not enough to learn something new, I guess. Let me go on. We actually can go 17. We are almost dead. So. But I go in and I use some short-range attacks as long as I can. See if I can get some points. So I also don't know, just out of my head, which ability gives me which points right now. So let's use a frost attack and see what we get from that. Probably something like courage or strength or muscle memory. Do I need muscle memory right now? I think there's one technique that gives the one ability right now that, and he got us. Okay. So the thing right now is why I know that we are dead is here the number changes before the attack is finished. It's maybe something I have to change at some point, but right now it's okay. Let's just jump into the next battle. Let me check something. Yeah, and then I won't do too many battles anymore. I will do this battle. Let me use some short range attacks for this one here. Just see. Got some pride. So the punch is a very weak attack, but the good thing is very short recovery time. So sometimes it's kind of not bad to use the punch. This one gave us some courage. It would be nice if he missed again, then we would get the perception point we need. We could use smash again, try to finally get his tooth out here. I mean, we could still win this, but it's fine. And about the Inside Unreal, so if I start working at with Unreal Engine, I will start playing the video. Got defense point, what is nice. Like I said, they always do on Thursdays, they do these videos, but I don't think I will kind of do it live, so I don't want to stream snipe, that's one thing. So we managed to get tooth off, and you see we obtained the sandworm tooth, what will be very helpful later on to craft stuff. Got another defense point, I think that's enough to learn the block ability, which will be very useful to us. Yeah, so I don't want to stream snipe it, and I'm also not sure he missed. We didn't get, we got the willpower point, that's good, but not perception. Kind of wanted perception. Yeah, so it's, I think the time is not ideal for me to stream anyway, so kinda. And also, I'm not sure if we get through the whole thing. It depends how much I look. I mean, it's around 2 hours long or so. So what I will do now is, this is the demo. Here. So we still have a little bit of time until Unreal Engine is open. Yes, so I don't think it's always possible to finish this in one session, so because the intro was today very long and so on, so I probably won't finish it in one go, the whole video, so we will just move next time, finish it. If it's something interesting, maybe it's something that is really not that interesting or anything like that, then we can also give up on that. One moment. Now here we can now learn the block ability. It's not that expensive, and this one here will really be a good one. One more perception. Yeah, I really want this technique because this ability will give us some new attribute points that we really need. Here nothing new. Still not enough. Like I said, the image is wrong. We will fix that, and then patch 1.5 will so let's go to the next battle and see. So we are almost done. Probably won't win this battle. It's fine. We can again try to get some different points by using other techniques. So actually the thrust attack, if we can level up this guy a little bit better, can be a pretty strong, also be a quite strong attack. If we hit, he misses, perception plus, willpower plus, so perfect, you can learn. We should have now enough to learn the abilities we want to learn. He blocked us, but we got some courage points. And also, it's also strong. It's maybe never as strong. You don't do as much damage as the mid-range slash attack, but the reaction time is a lot shorter, so that's always helpful. This was something I optimized pretty early. So first I kind of built the game for, you have multiple characters, so the reaction time can be a little bit lower because otherwise, so we lost, but it's okay. Got another willpower point. So what did I want to say? Let's go here. So now it should be possible for us to learn this one here. Let's see. Yeah. So it's only the image, everything else is fine. So what we could do now is kind of learn this stuff, but for that we need a grindstone, and for this one here we even need a blacksmith hammer, and the blacksmith hammer is out of our reach right now. And grindstone costs money, but we kind of want our desert. So the beginning money is also a little bit problem, but I realized that if you get into higher levels and so on, at some point it's, so we can now learn our throw ability. That's what I want. In higher level you then get money, higher amounts of money, and then at some point you don't have to worry about money anymore, at least that is how it is right now. So let me see, we can learn strength, confidence. Push this up, always nice. Let's do another. When we go into shop, how much is a grindstone? Pretty expensive. Maybe I have to put down this. Let's try to win another battle, because the engine needs a little bit more time to load up. Also because OBS and player here is working. So we actually have now our long-range attack. This probably won't hurt him too much, but we will see. We will bring his reaction time pretty much down. So the animation didn't work for some reason, so his reaction time went almost completely down again. So the other problem with long-range attacks is that the effect area is the enemy itself, and you may see that before I had to also not only select the enemy but also select a hit point, so I could attack his tooth to get his tooth, or I could attack his body and do a lot of damage. So the problem with throw is it's not such a precise attack, so you can only select the enemy and then it will hit what it hits. You can't decide what it hits. So I kind of want to. Oh, didn't want that. We want to win. We want to win. So slash attack is always the best. So you see here. Oh, sorry. When you go to here, we see here effect area, selective hit points. So you can select your hit points. But really, if you want to, it's maybe the throw attack is also a little bit tactical because it does a lot of reaction time damage for the enemy, and so you can maybe kind of gamble a little bit with that and so on. Also, of course, right now this attack here, the mid-range slash attack, is the most effective one, but that's also very depending on the enemy type. If you have maybe a very agile enemy or an enemy that is flying and out of the reach of short-ranged weapons and so on, you may want to use another technique, long-range technique and stuff like that. So, and then there are armored enemies that maybe first you have to break through armors, and then there are energy type of enemies and this type of attacks are anyway less effective, and you need to use attacks like Frost that have more penetration power. But because we only have right now one monster type, and that's why I kind of also want to add already in the demo version more monsters, so you can kind of see the variation. It's kind of like I don't want to just put in different monster types so you have different enemies that look a little bit different from each other. That's not the point. Point is that every enemy type brings a little bit something new to the table, and is a little bit different tactic-wise to defeat. We missed now 2 times after a row, what is pretty annoying, but we have to live with it. Absolutely, because he immediately attacked us and we got and slowed us down quite a bit, so he can attack us a second time. So you see also luck is always a thing. However, in the main game, there won't be kind of like this, how I did it here with going to the next stage and the enemy is a little bit stronger and so on, so this won't be such a big problem. He misses, which is good because I was a little bit too slow here. So you will be in an area, and in an area the enemies will always have the same strength, and you will be fighting this more monsters that have the same strength and so on. So this will be a little bit, the main game will have a little bit different progression, so managed to defeat him. So this time we got quite a bit coins. So you see, if we go to the next stage and so on, there is all with every stage you have a higher possibility to get more coins. It's never guaranteed, it's still randomized, but we also got a lot of points here with the attributes, and of course experience points always important, and our engine went up. So what I can do right now before we start working, going to the right map. So stage 19, I don't think we can reach the next stage for getting experience points reward right now. But we can go here into the character and see if we can learn something new. Yeah. Okay. That maybe we can. We still get a lot of points. This I also nerfed a little bit, that we get a little bit less job points, but I think maybe we have to. Maybe I overdid it a little bit with the experience points. The problem is with these jobs, they can be very powerful if it's too easy to level them up. That's why they still cost something. So you may think twice to level this up. So this one is the new ability I added. We need a lot of dexterity to get there. Crafting. Here we can learn this one. Costs a little bit much experience points right now, but probably because we can't really learn something else. Yeah, problem is with the weapon holster at the moment, it's not too useful to us. We need a lot more Sandworm skin and a lot more experience points if we want to craft it. Yes, so I guess we can leave this here. Save and quit. So the whole thing is not loaded yet. The problem. Let me check. Okay. We can start here. Let me put this on, and then let me get headphones. Because I'm not sure if it echoes. I hope it's still working. So the last time I didn't check it today, to be honest. The last time I checked it, it's pretty fine. From the start, and I also forgot to blend it in. Sorry about that. I think the first part is anyway just so I didn't watch it too far in. Some sections and absolutely what later. this the whole time like this? Why? Put down the settings, god damn it, come on. Yeah, it's again. I think I have to stop the stream here. Why? Put you down. Is it the whole time like this? So annoying. Problem is I can't change any settings here. I have the settings in that normally work more or less fine, but right now it's absolutely terrible. Is this the whole time? At least here it was. I mean, of course not perfect, but at least it runs. And then, as soon as I started this stuff, everything. So let's forget about this video here. I guess. I mean, I can try it again, maybe. Let's see, but that's quite annoying. Because I see it now. Now the stream works again, but before it was just. Anyway, is it crafting or improving? We can try it again. Let me try it one more time. Yeah, it's probably just, it's really too much. Problem is I can't download this video here.
Hey all, welcome to this week's News and Community Spotlight. To celebrate the 50th
I will go back to here, but just for testing, let's keep it with the... Sorry, the stream is a little bit behind, so I'm waiting for it to happen somewhere. I mean, if this breaks everything, here we have some problem. This time it works a little bit better. I think for today we'll leave it. Maybe I will try another time with this video. Maybe next time or so I will try again. But right now it kinda took enough time from the stream, and it doesn't work too well. I mean, this time it kinda works, but not too good. So let's forget about that for now. So I found the problem here. I mean, I already guessed the problem, what the problem will be, because it's not the first time. So willpower is it? That's here. We had the wrong thing connected here. No, that's not work. It's yeah. I'm sorry about this. I really wish I could make these videos with the settings with better settings, and that everything would work better, but it's just not possible right now. Anyway, so this is fixed. That was all we needed for the bug fix. It's most of the times bugs are just some small things. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to find what's the problem. So, no, we still need the improvements. That was stupid here, and then we also open. First of all, let me change this. Maybe I have no, let me change it. So I don't forget it. And then open up my protocol here. Max sharpen. Let's just call it image. Let's call it wrong image fix. It's not completely correct, but I want to keep these updates, of course, as short as possible. That's correct. Okay. I guess what you want now is what I want to add now is the wood carving. Let me see what I already prepared here. Nothing. Sharpen. Okay. Let me check. This is also pretty new ability I added, I think, on the weekend. Okay. Just wanted to see what layout I use. Because there are two different layouts. Abilities that are unknown and you need to learn another ability or do something else to make it known, and then there are abilities that are just known from the start. And this is one you know from the start, that's fine. I need another crafting. I should find. Okay. Okay. That's the right layout. So the reason why I copy paste it from another widget. First reason, of course, because it's easier to copy paste something that has a similar structure than just every time created from start. The second reason you will see in a moment is if I just copy paste it from the same widget, there is a little problem, or not a really problem, but what we have here now, it gave us the variables that we used in the other widget, but they are gray right now. So and it is gray because, of course, we don't have this variable here in this widget. So what I can do now is just create actually this variable, and then they are also in here. If I will just copy paste it from the same widget, I would copy paste the variable it was already recognized, and that's not what we want. We want to create a new variable, and that's just the easiest way to do it, actually. That's wood carving. So I just can't change the name here. then press, that's 30. I'm not sure how much experience points. Don't think this will cost a lot of experience points. So the one before just costed 100 experience points. Handyman, maybe we want Handyman level a little bit higher. But we have, yes, yeah, let's do this level 10. That's exactly why, yeah, now I remember. To make stuff a little bit up, I added the Handyman. So we take just 100 more for this ability, so 200 experience point is pretty cheap. This is improve accessories tier 2. Then we add here another one. That's the Handyman level. If this one is over 10, then it's fine. So we have to compile this because we have to make some changes with the variable. Okay. So we click this variable and we add here 3 default values. And I should have prepared the images, otherwise wood carving, yeah, prepared everything. Because we have kind of 3 images we show. If we, oh, that was the wrong one here. You have green, yellow, and red. So, and there will be a 4th one that is unknown. So if we don't know the ability yet, then it's of course unknown. If we know the ability but we don't match the condition to learn it, so we don't have enough experience points, or something else is wrong, then it will be red. If we can learn the ability will show up yellow, and if we learned it, it will be green. Okay, so now, and here the information and the condition written down. Let me copy paste this. Well, this is of course for the old one. So let's see. What was it for this one here? It's like 530. 500. 480. Could just check it here. $490. Okay. Not. Looks more like 480. Anyway. check it here. But that's pretty simple. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, 480. I have to see what I used there. Maybe I used there's something else in the way. No, 480. Okay. Well, this one is 680. 1000. 550. So condition are a little bit higher here. This one is 30. Here we need level 10. Is level 10 maybe a little bit too high? Oh no, it's fine, I guess. And here will be 200. Now we have to bind this. So actually it wasn't necessary that I wrote it down here, but I just want to have the correct things here, because we will change the text here, so I should have prepared. And this one, maybe I have a presentation. No, I don't have. Okay. Hang on. This will be fine here. You. Put you in here. Then we do the handyman. Here's level. And then finally do the same with the experience points. Taking this one here, because then I only need to change the number. Now we have to work with the visibility, because we want only to show this stuff when we hover over the button. Don't need that. Let's put this in hidden and promote this to a variable. Let's get this sequence condition. This one is stability. And then also crafting. Okay. However, visibility and crafting come in later. Let me see how. Okay. So now visibility here. This one is condition. Now we have to set the visibility of this too. For that we have to print this one out here. Have to get to the button. A little bit the problem here is that because it's kind of difficult to, you can't set the image over a button, but the problem is you can't bind this image to something else. So like if I want the image kind of have this change between red, yellow and green, you know, I can't do that if I just put the button put it over the button. That's kind of problem. So I have two layers. I have the buttons and then image over it, but the image, you can't click on the image, so you click through the image on the button. That's kind of the trick here. Anyway, so on hovered we will blend this information in. On unhovered we will blend it out. And then I'll take this tool, put it on the right place first. Probably have to start a new row at some point. So navigation is not so wrong. So kind of what the thing is here, but this one is here. If I hover over it when we haven't learned the ability yet, then it gives us the information about what condition we need, which condition we need to learn this button. But as soon as we learned it, these informations are useless for us. So we wanna oh, wrong button. Yeah. Okay, now we have. Thank you. So we have to kind of putting in here a branch, so there's useless informations at some point. Useless informations won't pop up anymore. And for that is this little command in here. So take the that's the wrong one. The informations will always pop up, so you can always check what exactly this ability is. Then here we have, as soon as we have learned this ability tier, the conditions won't pop up anymore. So this one here is in the force. That's all. When we are hover over the button, and when we unhover it, everything will disappear again. So we have also set this up. Will I show you what I mean here? Let's compile. Yeah. So I'm not sure how long. I'm sorry for the trouble today, but at the moment I kind of want to keep the stream on the 2 hour, around 2 hours. Just, I mean, I guess later on I will do longer streams again, but just to get really used to the streams, I kind of want. So first I wanted to do on Sunday a stream, but then I didn't do it because I kind of want to do this. I have a schedule for when I want to do streams, and I kind of want to get used to the schedule, and Sunday is not a streaming day. So on yesterday I couldn't do a stream. And I just kind of want to get used to the streams again. So what we see here is it's already yellow, so we can learn it. And then when we go over it, then you see both information put up. So we can't accept that we don't want to build power. Did I? Oh, I forgot to. Okay, we can adjust that. So we have everything here to learn. And when we see here the green one, we already learned, only the information pops up, not the condition. Because at this point, this information is useless to us. Okay. So, which one is it? Second last text. This one. No, this one. Okay. So now we have to set up what happens when we press the button, and there's quite a bit that will happen. That's why we will again copy paste a lot of stuff, and that's just at some point if you have kind of the right progress, or how you want to call it, for an event, and then it's something that it repeats itself. It's just the easiest way to copy paste everything and adjust the small stuff. Let's see, do we have here? We want this one there. Almost took the wrong one. Let's put this in this row here. Select everything. Put out everything. Then Control W will. Oh, I took too much. It's fine. Too much is. And you see there are quite a lot. Is quite a lot going on here. So first thing first is we check. Did we already learn this ability? If yes, then nothing will happen. You see the branch doesn't go further anymore. So you could also do this different and just after you use it, make the button invisible, but then the thing with the hover and unhover wouldn't work anymore. So then second thing is, are the condition right? Oh, just realized something here. This should be on 20, right? You have to check this again. Better check it. And another bug fixed. I can put this in the protocol. To carving condition fixed. Okay. This one here, 10. So we check this here. Okay, now it's. Oh, wait. I have to be careful. Of course, here. So here 30. And then 10. So we check, do we have the right, do we have these two things, these two conditions right? Is prestidigitation bigger and handyman level bigger than the number we gave it? If not, again, nothing will happen. And then we have also experience points, the same thing. Could have put all this stuff together, but then it gets kind of complicated with the commands and so on. Sometimes it's just easy to make a row of branches, but of course you could put everything together and in one. But for me, I realized that I just intend to make more. It's easier to make mistakes like this, so I'd rather have a couple of branches in a row. Sometimes, of course, it's not possible to do it like this, but just so you know, you can put this in one branch. You don't need 3 branches. So then the next step is we take away the experience points. There's one thing I haven't decided yet. This one here is pride. Do I want to keep this pride? What do we have here? Wood is the mask, plus the dice. It's luck. Dice is luck. It's intimidation. I could put prestige. No, it's just learning the ability. So I decide to do the stuff here. Why not spirit? Or let's do genuine, because genuine is one that's can't level up so much. Maybe doesn't makes a little bit sense. However you want to see it. Okay. So for every ability you learn, you get a attribute bonus, a small bonus. So now we set the we change this button here and set this on that we have learned this ability. And then next one is our attribute bonus. +1, and then we have this one here. I have to replace this. This is our tier count. So when we learn our ability in a certain tier, so this one is tier 2 count, then we will add a number here, and you need a certain amount of a certain tier to unlock the next tier. That's why we calculate this with this one here. That's actually the last thing we have to change. And then we have here a little bit an update. This one here is just an update because we got an attribute point, so we have to, and we changed there are 2 attribute points. We have one that is fixed to a character, and then we have a maximum one that will adapt with the equipment you wear and stuff like that. And this little step here will update the maximum amount of your attribute points. Then we will save, and then here is another step that if there is a notification like, hey, you unlocked the next tier or anything like that, this one will jump in. And sometimes there are other stuff going on. Here is when we solve job is for job tasks and other stuff. No, this one here is actually for job tasks. This one here is if you break your tool. Oh, that's it. So if you will press this now, we will learn the new ability, but there are other things I want to do, but we're on the 2 hours mark, so I think I will do this off stream, maybe. Yeah, otherwise it may take too long. So actually, so this is the ability we learn. So we learn to improve certain accessories. So accessories that are kind of carved out of wood. That's why wood carving. And that's just first step. So now I have to set up the second step. The second step is then using this ability. So this one was learning the ability, and the second one will be using this ability. And I will do this in here. Here I already have to set up two. So we already have tooth carving. That's already in the game. And then you can, in the demo, there are two abilities you can learn. So tooth necklace and spiritual tooth crown. Both are made are carved out of tooth. So now in the demo we also have two accessories that are made out of wood. In the main game it will be a little bit different, because right now you have to craft this. In the demo you have to craft this accessories. It's the only way to get it. In the main game there will be different ways to get accessories. You will find them by exploring the map. You find them in treasure chests. You can buy them from merchants, or you can craft them yourself. You can, maybe there are a reward for a side quest or anything like that. And then if it's made out of wood, even if you don't have crafted it by yourself, you still can improve the accessory if you have the right ability learned. So in the demo this is maybe a little bit misleading, because it's for every accessory it's the same thing. You have to craft it, and then you have to learn the right ability to improve it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I could put some more, maybe I will put more accessories in the game with kind of learning quests. Maybe I will put a very rare accessory that you can only loot from an enemy, and there is a very low chance that you get it, so something like that. Maybe I will do a little bit more in that direction over the next weeks while I still work on the demo. But it all depends. So how much do I really want to put into the demo? I mean, of course, the demo is kind of like it says, a demonstration. This should be all in dice. So yeah, so it's a demonstration. I kind of want to show you the different game mechanics and things, so you get the feeling for what you can expect. And the question is, how far do I want to go with demo, I mean, of course, if I put more things in, the demo version will be probably a little bit more interesting, but maybe at some point I really have to think about stopping work on the demo version and go to the main game. So yeah, and I mean, other stories, the thing is kind of like that I have to create 3D models and stuff like that. So, but maybe I could put in 3 more accessories, or 2 more, 3 or 2 more. One a little bit more powerful one that you can loot with a low chance from an enemy. One you can buy in the shop. And then maybe one you can get from a quest or something else. However, when I think about quest, then maybe, yeah, we'll see. And maybe these are a little bit more powerful accessories than the ones you can craft, I guess. I'll have to think about that. So costs, this will be again pocket knife. Should I just copy paste this one here? It's maybe the easiest one. Let me delete this. Because it's very similar to this one. Need to change the location here. Yeah, I think that maybe it's even but yeah, I have to think about it. It's maybe something I will durability, this should be the same one. Why is it no, it's fine. 69, yeah. No, that's a little bit irritating. 69. Here is luck. This one here is the only one I have to change the button. Think, as if I remember correctly, yes, this one here. This is dice. Not definitely not this one. Yeah, I think so. Kind of like when I think about it now, to get kind of this a little bit more items from more powerful items through finishing a certain amount of quests and stuff like that, or are otherwise hidden in the game. It's kind of interesting, makes maybe the whole demo version a little bit more interesting. I don't know how many people really will explore the demo version so much. So far the interest is not that big. Maybe it's a little bit the problem is probably more my marketing than anything else. And I mean, if you just look at the game, there seems not too much to it. there seems not be that much to the game because it's just one enemy you fight over and over again. But if you explore the game a little bit more, then you will find there's actually already quite a bit. And really, my first tests, it took me a couple of hours to really get every ability and then everything. But from that point on, I optimized a lot, so it's easier to get this stuff and so on. But still, it takes a moment to learn these abilities and so on. So dice. And I just remember this one here too. Kind of also probably so kind of in the direction of weapons. Some powerful weapons hiding in putting some powerful weapons in the demo and hiding them could also be interesting. But like I said, I kind of have to. I mean, this is maybe something while I add the stuff I want to add, kind of doing this on the side and then just see how much I manage to add to the game. Like I said, it's just a demo. And there's enough depth here to actually almost make its kind of own little game, but that's not the goal. So yeah. Okay. There's one thing I would let's just test out if the learning the ability works like it should. And for that we add here the visibility. I have too much things on. Okay. Yeah. Ah, no. We need to. This one here is the right one. Could I have seen this? Otherwise, I probably would have forgotten it already. And this one here will be the visibility. I mean, I can do a little bit longer because it's so much trouble with the stream. And sorry about that things. I think I had the idea with showing videos and so on. Maybe I have to delay this for another time. For another time when I have a little bit better hardware and stuff. And which one is this? This is the first one. Tooth necklace. No, it's the second one. Then the dice. Then the mask. Then the ring. And then finally the crown. So craft accessories. Two. Okay. And then I will do one more thing and just add here to visibility. And this one is a simple one again. It's just this will again, when you hover over a button, it will show up. Be here. And this one here. Oh yeah, just read. Yeah, anyway, that's fine. Still can't change the name. That's not. Okay, let's test this out, and then maybe I can. Yeah, I will finish this one here, and then there will be a second accessory, but that will be kind of. I have to set up the same, but I think I will finish the setup for this accessory and then scrap finish for today, at least the stream, and then I will finish the second accessory off stream, and I will also add probably a new line of quests to the game. Yeah. Okay, let's try this out. And go to upgrades, improving. So we haven't learned it yet. It's still yellow. When we go now to accessories, only the ones before are here. The one I made now is not here. So if I click on here, seems everything fine. Here I still have. Oh. So first of all, the image is wrong, and second problem. Oh, that's now a little bit annoying. One thing I can change here. But the info is still wrong. One thing I can change here. How did that happen? Oh, I did miss this the last. Yeah, though I will change that thing later. And actually, not. Maybe it's better to change it now, or I will forget it. The info image is wrong. Yeah. The problem is I have to navigate with the annoying designer. This is one thing that could be maybe be done a little bit better from side of Epic. Dice. Golden dice earring info. No, that's wrong. Wooden. We don't want the wooden dice. This is wooden carving. Wood carving info. Let's check it again. Compile everything and save. I mean, just really navigating through this stuff here, through the hierarchy, is a little bit annoying sometimes. Absolutely, if you're lazy like me and not. But I mean, you see how many images, texts, and stuff I have here. I don't want to name everything every time. I mean, like I said, you could name it everything, and then you just can here in the search widget put it in, then it's easier to find, but yeah, I'm often not doing this. Absolutely, because if it's correct once, then it should stay correct. It doesn't always stay correct because there is a big bug, a big annoying bug with Unreal Engine, that sometimes it binds text or an image with something that you never set up. So it's not in here at the moment. So now we learn disability. Go here to and it's up around. We see here the information. So right now, when we have this accessory on, it just gives us 1 luck plus. So what we now do is we can improve it so it gives us a better boost, a better luck boost, what is pretty helpful. So there's quite a lot if you want to improve your accessories, but it can pay off. It can really pay off to do so. So we go here, and when we press on it, so right now also we don't have any limitation. I didn't put any limitations. What do I mean with that is you can upgrade an accessory as many times as you want, but of course it gets quite expensive with the experience points at some point, so there is kind of this natural thing that it just gets too expensive at some point, and then you have to wonder if it's still worth to improve this. But I didn't put an limitation myself, so you can level up it 100 times, you can even level up it thousands of times if you want. So first thing is we get our pocket knife durability, so we need a pocket knife for carving, and it will cost us 1 durability if we do so. So we have to check, do we have enough durability with our pocket knife. If true, we go on with force. If false, we can't prove anything. Then here will be dice luck, and then yeah, so this is then the -1. Experience points are like this. If you have +1 luck, it will cost you 100 experience points. Then the next time you have 2 luck, then upgrading it will cost you 200 experience points, and so on. That's why I say it gets expensive then when you have 100. It will cost you 10,000 experience points just to level up your accessory one time. Then we have everything else is pretty fine. So then we of course check again the amount of experience points. Let me just we check this if we have enough experience points. If not, nothing will happen when we press the button. Then we take away 1 from our pocket knife, 1 durability. Then we learn prestidigitation attribute, get the level up here, and then we add 1 luck to our earring here. We don't need this too. Don't need this one. It's only luck. And then we update again our attribute, our maximum attributes. We save, we get notification, and then we also check is our pocket knife, has it still durability left. If yes, nothing will happen. If no, a notification will pop up, hey, your pocket knife broke. You have to get a new one. Save, because you never know. Then let's test this out if it works. So here we have find and accessories here. What happened? That's definitely not what we wanted. It went +4. Why? Everything else worked, but of course. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I deleted a little bit too much there. It's fine. This is anyway only my testing save. to see that there is a problem there. So now our luck is 48, which is quite a bit big change. Absolutely, because luck is quite a useful attribute actually. Luck does affect everything that has a chance. So hit chance, the chance to do critical, the chance to not getting hit, the chance to block an enemy's attack, the chance to parry an enemy attack, the chance to counter an enemy attack, and all this stuff. Everything takes luck. So luck is a pretty powerful one. However, it is kind of built in that you may not if you just casually play the game, you may not realize how important the luck attribute is, because there are quite a there are a couple of attributes, and I don't expect from you to learn every attribute what it does. But luck is a pretty useful one, so I made my guy quite some pretty much more powerful with that move, but it's okay because I fixed it. So now we have 48, so now we just do it once. Now you see pocket knife durability is going down. Because of experience points, let me do this one here. So here with this one we do intimidation. This one here is maybe a little bit more interesting. So let me just, so now I broke my pocket knife, so you get the information. Your pocket knife broke, and the pocket knife you get in the shop. I should have enough money. So you see here, let's buy one. Buy. And at the moment you can only have one pocket knife. In the main game you can have up to 10 pocket knives, but it's kind of annoying to set this up. So I have prepared everything so you can have 10 pocket knives, but to set everything completely up, so you it's a little bit annoying. So I decided for the demo version you can have only one. That's why it's sold out now, but as soon as the pocket knife breaks again, it will be available in the shop again. Yeah. And when we go in here into the crafting accessories, not in the crafting, sorry, in the improving part, accessories, you will see the durability of the pocket knife is back to 10. There will be also, and that's something I will put in later on into the demo, the possibility to improve the durability of your tools and weapons. So it's half in the demo, because you can already craft the durability oil, but at the moment you can't do anything with the durability oil. That's something else I have to put in soon actually. Now I remember. So there are two ways to use durability oil. One is directly in combat. However, this will firstly cost you a turn, and second, it won't be as effective. And the second way will be, of course, an ability you can learn in the improving section, and then you can improve durability. So it will be very similar to what I have done here. And this will be more effective. Yes. Okay. And second thing, it actually won't take that much time anymore. Just have to switch time here in crafting. Idiot. I had the feeling I put this up. So I will copy paste this one here. Yeah, as soon as you have kind of WordStream prepared, there will be a lot of copy pasting stuff. That's just how it is. It just saves you a lot more time, of course. So let me see, 40 to 20. 20. This UI will probably change for the main game. Maybe I will even change it already in the demo version. I think that's 340, 40, 40. Yes. This one here will be the mask. Ooh. So what will change here is this mask does to lock then let's set up the visibility here. Copy paste this. Then mask. The second one. Crafting. Okay. Be very similar to this one here. Of course, the only thing I have to change is the crafting tier here. No, I have to change both because this is the old one. So here tier 2, and the wooden mask should be tier 3. Crafting. Okay. Then we set this one here. Like this. Then we also set the visibility of this one here. Okay. Then the knife durability should be 69 again. This one here. will be, of course, a new one. Do we have here? No. Did I delete it? No, here it is. Mask. Oh, it's courage, not intimidation. Okay, fine. Are you sure? Yes, the tip of that necklace is okay. Guess that's fine. Then I have to change this one here, of course. Have to change this one here. Let me copy this one here. And then this one here is the last one. Change. This one here. Okay. And then we have to set up the button. Again. Let's first take the over and down hold because that's a lot easier. But the other one is actually more or less, I think, more or less the same. I just have to really change one thing. Otherwise it's pretty similar. That's fine. It takes not that long to set up this stuff. And which one was it? I had a short blackout there. Anyway. Let's put this in the right row here. So it definitely will change the UI. I guess I said that already. I don't remember if I said it already, or if I just intended to. But I probably kind of, so you see the object maybe animated a little bit. There will be also different steps in improving stuff. So just improving the number is one thing. Then you can make other improvements that change the appearance and add maybe some new features to it. I'm not sure if I will do this in the demo, but maybe I will do an example in the demo. Probably with the tooth necklace, because this will be very simple thing. But so you get an example, you know, how you can improve accessories even more. And accessories can't break, so if you level up even these very simple accessories I gave you here, if you level them up, slowly over time, they will get pretty useful. But you have to do it, of course. You can also ignore it and save your stuff for other things. That's up to you, but they can be very, very helpful. Of course, in the demo version, it's maybe just a small thing. I mean, the interesting part, I think, in this game is that there are so many ways to improve your character. Everything is just a small, little improvement, but everything together, and because you can do most of these improvements a couple of times, like improving your accessories and stuff like that, and you can do it multiple times and over and over and over again, it really stacks up all the stuff you can you do. And like I said, in the demo version, it's maybe a little bit, the effects are maybe a little bit smaller, but then in the main game, if you do it over a long, anyway, the main game, you will play the main game over a longer time, and much more things come together. There are more characters and stuff, characters that have different abilities. Some characters can improve this accessory, some can improve the other one, some can make this type of weapons, others can create this type of weapons, some can make leather armor, some can make metal armor, and so on and so on. And if you get kind of your characters together and everyone has a little bit different abilities and so on, so you can really craft pretty powerful stuff and improve them to make them more powerful, and add it to an already powerful character because you level them up very high. And kind of what the game is, maybe at the beginning I can understand if it is maybe a little bit overwhelming, because you have 20, 23. How many are? 1 moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 27. Sorry, 27 attributes, and every attribute does something a little bit different, and that's maybe at the beginning. So you don't want to learn this, but you don't have to learn it in that way. You don't have to know what does every single one of the 27. What does it do? Not even I know exactly what it does. I always have to go back to my notes sometimes and so on. And for the game, that's not needed, but you have to get kind of other things together. Kind of, oh, if I want to learn this ability, I need courage. So how can I level up my courage? Or I can level up it if I use this specific ability in combat. But I can also level it up if I can also not level the courage up, but I can add courage if I wear this specific accessory, and if I level up this accessory. That's another way to get more courage. You also have to see. You also get after combats. You saw when you were here at the beginning. So you get these attribute buffs. So you maybe get the strength buff, and then you and then you can use it on any character you want. So you again, do I want to use it for this character, or do I want to save this buff for another character and improve it for this guy because he needs it more for learning a specific ability and stuff like that. But what does individual attribute do for you in combat and other factors? You don't have to learn that necessarily. Maybe after playing the game a while, and if you're one that is interested in this stuff, I mean, you don't have to. Like I said, I mean, for that there are this information. If I want to learn this ability, then you need so much of this attribute, like you need 30 courage, or you need 40 willpower, or you need 200 strength, or anything like that. You see that, but then you have to, of course, find a way. How can I improve this attribute so I can learn this ability? That's kind of more the thing. But like I said, if you're of course into that, the informations are there. If you go here, oh no, I don't have a buff. Yeah, not here. It's anyway something I definitely will put somewhere. Oh no, here I have. When you level this up, then you see here, that's strength does this stuff. Aster A are short range attacks, so damage plus plus, so it's very effective for short range attack. It also lowers the energy use quite a bit. For middle ranged attacks, it's still effective, but not as much as for short range attack. And then you see long range attack. It has different effects. Long range attack, you have less reaction time and stuff like that. When we go to speed, we have a little bit less. Yeah, the hit chance for short range and mid range, that's maybe the big one. General reaction time goes down. Then defense, reaction time down, and counter. It is very effective if you have learned the counter skill. Agility is very effective to dodge enemy attacks, and also gives you for mid-range attacks more dexterity and stuff like that. So these are important informations. And then there are some other, I mean, like prestidigitation. It also can affect some parts of combat. I don't want to go too much into it, but this is more used for side for crafting stuff, for improving stuff. It's more needed there actually. Same thing for knowledge and intelligence, and maybe a little bit for cleverness. These are stuff that you need. Knowledge is for crafting potions. Intelligence is not as important right now in the demo version. The main game it will be important, because right now you can buy the survivor book and then you learn immediately all the skills that are in the survivor book. In the main game you will need intelligence to go through the chapters of a book to learn the different abilities that are and the informations are stored in the book, to learn up new abilities and stuff like that, but you need the right intelligence to get the information out of the book. And cleverness will, yeah, I mean it hasn't quite, I think, of all of them, the biggest effect in combat. But this will then kind of be also used for interacting with NPCs or bargain with merchants and stuff like that. This part will probably find its way in the demo version. But like I said, there are a lot of things I could add to the demo version. At some point I have to find out, is it still worth to work on the demo version, or is it better to go, at some point I have to jump ship and go, now it's all the main game. And there are kind of things like of course different priorities. Like I said, the game mechanics, the combat is extremely important, and the progression system, they have to work. Am I still alive? Yeah, sorry about that. Just because it was so, yeah, that has to work. So not only 1 versus 1, but with multiple player characters and multiple enemies. This is priority number 1, and then priority number 2 are the kind of adding this different game mechanics absolutely in combat, like attitude changes and maybe different weapons, how they react, and other different items, how they do. That's priority 2. That of course having the already a lot of different stuff in it that work is helpful, but it's not that much needed like things in priority 1 that just have to, there has to be a strong, for priority 1 to have their strong foundation. I won't say it's absolutely necessary for going to jump to the main game, but it's definitely, it's kind of what I set as a goal for the demo version, that I really have this strong mechanic behind it, this strong foundation I can build on. So because this is the goal, I would say it's necessary that this works. Priority 2 game mechanics. It's good that it's positive that they are, if they are in the game already, if they work already. It's because it maybe because they may help to see flaws in the priority 1 game mechanics. They may help there to see this stuff. But there's definitely also things I can easily integrate as soon as even in the main game, not only in the demo version. However, of course, if I see then, oh, there is a problem there, and it's in the main game, then there will be a lot of things I have to do to change. So it would be better if it's in the demo version I already see, oh, there is a problem there, or anything like that, and correct this. But yeah, and then priority 3 are kind of this stuff, more accessories and more weapons and stuff like this. This is then just more playing around. If there is time, if I have nothing better to do, if something else I'm working on needs more time, but I want to do kind of like this. So I have to see, kind of like, I will add as much stuff as long as I'm working on priority 1. We'll try to add as much of priority 2 and 3 stuff in it as possible, but I don't want to stop the flow of priority 1 stuff, if that makes sense. And yeah, and like I said, like right now, I think from tomorrow on I will start to really focus on priority 1 stuff. The other things will be more on the side. I still want to keep up my patch that I will do multi-patch in a week, of course, and maybe even, if possible, every day. And for that, kind of priority 3 and 2 stuff is more suited than priority 1 stuff, because priority 1 stuff, they just need more time. They can't do this in one day. In the couple of hours I have time to work on this project. But so I can keep up the patch, then it's of course interesting to look at priority 3 and 2 stuff, things that are not necessary but that are fun to have. And of course, I mean, in the end, all the things that I integrate now into the demo version, except for the quests, the quests are different, but everything else will find its way to the main game, so it won't be kind of lost time or anything like that, because it will be definitely part of the main game. Yeah, so let's go check what I wanted to check here. Accessories, let's see. Yeah, it's up. Yeah, did I take the wrong one? Okay, for that we test everything all the time. Made a mistake again, because mistakes happens, that you can't avoid that, but if you test it immediately, does it work? Even small things or so, or especially small things, because there are the tendency to make mistakes big. Took the wrong one here. And so you see immediately, and then changing it's definitely, it's a lot faster. if you kind of set up a lot of things without testing, I mean, it may seem annoying to test every little small, you do something and test it, but really if you do a lot of things and test it and then you see a mistake, then the other thing is you're not sure where exactly it is. If you test it immediately, you know exactly where it is because you worked on that. That's something definitely to keep in mind. So do a lot of tests. While working on project, even small things. Of course, it also takes some time to test everything all the time, but to be honest, if you do test everything immediately, it seems like less time instead of doing a lot of stuff and then test everything together. Also, that you miss something is all these chances are a lot higher. So now it's okay. Here is something wrong with the Courage. Did I delete a little bit too much there? Everything else seems then fine. Yeah, I do a lot more mistakes. If that's another thing with the live streams, that I do a lot of. Oh, I know what the problem is. Okay. That's kind of another problem with the live stream, that I do a little bit more mistakes because I'm also talking and then kind of sometimes concentration goes in a different direction. But that can also happen if you work alone, to be honest. If you don't work on a live stream, if you just work on it. So let's see. No, it's fine. And it works perfectly. So what I will do, so I will stop now the stream. I will add some more quests. Here you see all the quests are in here. Probably will start here with the sensei. Maybe if I find the time, rich, but I will add 3 or maybe even 6 more quests here, and then that's the patch 1.5. The ability it just set up and the patch. So I'm sorry that we didn't get so far that of course, yeah, I talked a lot. We had some other problems and stuff like that. So anyway, that's for the stream. It was 3-hour stream. I mean, it's not a waste of time or anything like that. It's not like I absolutely don't enjoy doing the streams. The only problem with the streams is that, like I said, the quality and everything, and then I kind of wanted to do it with the video, and that's not working. I think I have to scrap for now. The thing with the videos, to react to videos and stuff like that. I just think it's maybe a little bit more interesting, gives a little bit more to the stream, because like I said, always working and talking is sometimes there is not much going on, and then it's maybe interesting to just have the stream something else up, a video that gives you different information. Sometimes it's interesting to start a discussion about something that's news about gaming and other pop culture stuff and things like that. From that point, I